All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So normally I break these four apart into two videos and basically try to say these two are a little better than these two, right? I'm actually combining them all together for a very important reason. Look, I think the fact that AI, the C3 AI stock, did not do well coming off earnings, I think really hurt these four. Okay, look, Nvidia did well, all right, Palantir did well, AI did not. And I think it was really important for all three to do well, for these four to do well, okay? I think the shakeup in C3 AI just kind of, look, more than anything, just slapped reality back into this sector, all right? I still think AI is king. I still think the hype is real. I still think there are plenty of profits to be made on these four stocks. I just think we need to be a little bit careful maybe over the next week or two. That's really all it is. But right now I will say Guard Force is the most interesting setup of these four. The other three, though, kind of look so bad that I'm a little worried about Guard Force hitting it. That said, I hope you see what I see and what I am about to talk to in a couple seconds, right? But before we go any further into the details, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There's only a couple, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this thing all over the internet, comment good or bad. Look, whatever you can do really does help me in the YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, super, super appreciated, okay? So look, let's get into it. And again, Guard Force looks like the prettiest of these four, but I'll be honest with you, I still have a little bit more. I need a little bit more from this. I really, really do. And look, my first rule is essentially get over the 8 and the 20. All right. And I very much see that is actually where we're at, right? Like we closed up here clearly over the orange and green line, right? The 8 and the 20. That said, I mean, look, we break both. Can't confirm well. We've broken both again. I don't know, and I'll be honest, this isn't as good a break as I wanted. Number one, we could not get over the biggest candle to the left. That's a really important thing to me, right? Like I wish we closed at 644. That would have made me feel a little better. We did break 50% candle. I will at least take that. And then where's 50% of this one? All right, we've taken 50% of that. That's cool, I guess. But yeah, I think I would not touch this. Man, 648, that's a decent amount of change to throw away. But that said, let me go to the weekly real quick. Give me 1 second. Oh man, there's a nice gap here. Maybe 8 something. All right, look, I'll be honest. I think given that, I actually really think this is probably the safest place to go. 647, so I'm going to call it a 648 alert. I'd actually be interested at 648. Look, I'm throwing away 30 cents. That's about 5%, right? So I'm not here, That said, I would really like to get over this candle right here. That'll help me believe that maybe I can ride it to here, if not, hopefully all the way to there, right? Because honestly, right now, I know we're over these two lines. I'm still not at a place where I actually believe we're going to break it and run. Honestly, I don't. And look, there is a lot of just bad, right? Like there's a lot. This green, drop should be a green, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. And I've seen it enough times to where you go down, you go horizontal, and then instead of going up, you end up going back down. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see this 5-0 line do a really good job. It's just interesting to see it play with the 8 and the 20. But because look, we went down, we went horizontal, we flew for sure, right? We basically go down, we go horizontal, we drop though, right? So honestly, I feel like I'm leaning a little more towards 509 than I am 961. But yeah, get me a little closer to that 650 number, this one right here, sorry. And yeah, I think I'd be a little more interested. But again, this one looks the best of the rest. I think the rest kind of worry me a little too much. And that's probably what's driving this. Look, again, the weekly is very much saying that this 961 is still a valid reason, right? Nothing but red, 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 red right here, green, 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 hopefully to that, right? But again, just all about, we really need to break this for sure. You can definitely, like I said, you can consider a 630 maybe. For me, honestly, I think I'd rather do this one, go a little closer to 650 and see what happens. But again, Guard Force looks like the best of the rest, that's for sure. Sound Hound, man, I talk about hard confirmation when breaking moving average clusters so much. All right. And I know that looked really good. I mean, this was a very bad one, right? You know, I don't like it when we open up here and close all the way down here. But man, the moral of the story is as moving averages start getting as tight as this, very easily it'll look like it wants to go up and then very quickly come back down. I mean, there are so many examples I flashed on this, right? HUSA, I think, was one of my favorite ones because like it happens for so long, right? And again, you go really high up, you go really high down, or low down, go really high up, go back low, come back up, and then ultimately go down, right? Like it's a Palantir. Palantir is another good one, right? You go up, you fall down, you go up, you fall down, you eventually take off, right? And you know, as many times as it looked like it was going to take off, it didn't until it did, right? And that's what's happening with Sound Hound. It wants to take off, but it can't, you know. And I think this 308 line was a really good line actually, because you break, you can't confirm. You can't break, you break, you can't confirm, right? Like, it is what it is. And look, at this point, I'm worried. I am. I'll be honest. We have lost the 8. I imagine we're going to come down to the 20. This 20 better hold, because if we lose the 20, we're coming down to the 50. You know, I don't think this should go much lower than the 50, but in all honesty, if we lose the 20, we're now talking about a moving average cluster again, and anything can happen when you're just that thick in the lines, you know what I mean? So the moral of the story here, and believe me, I know, because I had a lot of people get really excited on a lot of my posts, right? Like some people were talking $8 and you know, I'll be honest, I was talking $5. I'm not going to pretend I didn't get excited here. I definitely put some money in here and had to sell off more than I wanted to, right? Like, is what it is, you know? But yeah, I'm not here pretending. I'm not here, you know, saying that there's still like, no, we're back in these lines. And honestly, for me to throw good money back into this, we'll probably have to even break 308. I don't even know if I would get in at 3 over the 8 moving average. You know, I think breaking 308 is really what needs to happen here for me to believe. And again, once 308 breaks, that's where we're starting to talk about better channels, right? But this is so thick with moving average. I'm not going to say I believe we're going to come down to 235, but there is actually a very realistic chance we come down to 250, come down to the last moving average, and then hopefully do another bounce. That is very likely, in all honesty, right? So again, I'm not going to touch this until 308 breaks. I for sure am sad this didn't do what it was supposed to do, though. I can't pretend otherwise, you know. So moving average clusters, they are a real thing. Look, this is a good weekly. It actually is, but in a lot of ways, we still need more. This broke 3 moving averages. That's a doji. That's a doji. We still haven't confirmed, and we actually still haven't like not confirmed, right? Because I still do see an uptrend, but end of the day, this candle does not matter and this candle does not matter. I think next week we'll either drop to 235 or we'll break 308. I'll be honest with you. I'm really curious because that's not a bad MACD and that's not a bad RSI. And actually, that's not too bad of volume either. So maybe a little patience could be okay here. Man, it is game over if 260. Look at the 3 moving averages are 267, 268, 265. If this thing falls to 264, game over for sure. There's nothing else I can say for that. So Sound Hound, moving average clusters is the moral of the story here. BBAI, it's been a while since I've looked here, actually. I remember unloading this thing, and I'm more than happy that I did, all right? So this thing, I mean, I think the whole story here really is the 100 moving average, right? Once it loses the 100 moving average right here, it like never even comes back. This was just such a nasty fake out. You know, I do not like green filled in candles. Why? Because we open up here at 265. You can see it up there. And then we close all the way down there at 240. More people lost 10%, more people lost 20 cents a share than they made money on that gap up. You know what I mean? So this 100 moving average being lost was the entire story. And look, that right there is an important point. You have both the 100 and the 50. You better bounce on those two right there. Otherwise, you're going to fall hard all the way to the next bottom one, right? And that kind of goes back to what I was saying about SOUN, right? Like, I could see it coming down to the 200 very easily, because once you lose one, it kind of loses them all very quickly, you know? So BBAI, you better bounce on 197. If you do not bounce on 197, man, I haven't talked about this gap fill downward, right? Like this lose of the gap, right? It actually can very easily come down to 160, and then after 160, it actually could be game over. So I'll draw the 160 line. Let me put that right there. Yeah, this is a scary gap fill, to say the least. And unfortunately, it's not the fill I like. It's a gap fall, not a gap fill, right? So a lot to be worried about BBAI. However, the 200 moving average is generally a monster bounce point, right? You see it happen there. You see it happen there. Hopefully, we bounce up. Otherwise, I mean, it could be a very scary fall. And MACD is actually in the negative and looking like it wants to keep going down. So I am more than worried about BBAI. And look, we actually just lost the last moving average on the weekly. That's scary. Be very, very careful on BBAI. I think this one actually might have been the worst one, and I should have put it at the end. So I did Guard Force, I did SOUN, I did BBAI. Oh, I should have put Bullfrog a little higher up. Bullfrog wasn't looking that bad, actually, but oh shit, I'm wrong. It actually did not look good. I remembered this day. I think this is the last time I probably looked at it. Again, kind of like SoundHound, right? We are looking at a cluster of moving averages a lot tighter, definitely well under them now. And again, in a lot of ways, the same kind of gap down as BBAI. Maybe it was actually a good reason I put Bullfrog below BBAI. So again, Guard Force really is the only one that looks interesting. I think the fact that these other three have me so scared, I don't know if Guard Force will do it. Maybe everyone goes into Guard Force because the rest look the same. But honestly, SoundHound, Big Bear, and Bullfrog are very much scaring me. So trade safely within these four. That said, look, they will turn around, in my opinion. I am not here saying these four are dead. I'm definitely here saying be careful on at least three of the four. So, hey, trade safely out there. You know more videos are coming.